Making as much money as you want because you're not saying the right words or saying them the right way. Saying the right words comes down to the correct scripting. Saying them the right way comes down to tone. This video, I'll explain what I've learned over 14 years of selling stuff. 8 weeks ago, I just did a launch. We did $106 million in 72 hours, and we broke the Guinness Book World Record for the fastest selling nonfiction of all time and became 4th of all books of all time. Either way, right now, you're not making as much money as you want because you're saying things the wrong way. So let me give you an example. So if I said, I didn't say he hit his wife, 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 4 different ways of saying that statement all have 4 very different meanings. And so if right now you're like, man, I got this script or I wrote this out of how I'm supposed to say this stuff and people aren't buying, it's like because they think that you're telling them that you hit your wife. That's not really it. But they're not doing it because the words you're saying aren't communicating the meaning that you think they are. And so tone is a huge difference in terms of pitching, in terms of in one-to-many setting, or just in a one-on-one conversation. And so a lot of the things that teach around tone are super amorphous and very confusing. And I know this because as I came up, I would hear things like curiosity tone, aggressive tone, laid back tone. And I was like, what does any of this actually mean? And so number one is that in order to do any of this, you must have a script. Duh. If you don't have a script, get a script. I have whole videos on this, closer, framework, and you can walk through that. Clarify whether they're there, label them the problem, overview past experience, sell the vacation with a 3-step pitch, then transition into explaining away their concerns, reinforce the decision. That's what a script looks like. Now, how do you make sure that you have the correct tone? So there's 5 things you can do to modulate your voice, and 3 of them will be fixed, 2 of them are variable. And so when you're writing a script or you're observing somebody who's better than you at selling in order to learn, these are the 5 things that you need to look for. 3, create what I call sales tone. These are constants. And so number 1 is that you have to speak loud enough that they can hear you. This should sound obvious. If they can't hear you, they can't understand you, they can't buy from you. Now, this matters more in person than it does over the phone, because over the phone they can adjust their volume. In person, it matters a lot. The second part of sales tone is that you have to speak slowly enough that they can comprehend you, right? If you talk too fast, trust goes down. If you talk too slow, they think you're an idiot. And so you have to hit the sweet spot, which is typically under 185 words per minute and above 135. So that's a bit of the sweet spot. So for me, I tend to talk fast. And so when I gave my presentation at the book launch, which I referenced earlier, I know that I speak at 185 words per minute. And so I had to reverse engineer when I knew I was going to be dropping the link in order for people to buy at that timestamp, and then knew I had to have this many words prior to that point. And when you get consistent with